All right, we are live. This is Rediscovering Black Conservatism Shorts, Blog 1. Now, the reason why I named this Shorts is because this is going to be an exclusive YouTube comment. Exclusive YouTube content. So when you see the blog, that means that you won't see it on Facebook. You have to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a returning guest. So just let them know who you are.
I am P. Ray Easley, organizer of Black Chicago for Trump.
All right, here we go. So here we go. This is the shorts. Our topic for the shorts is going to be Candace Owens versus Cardi B. Now, for those that don't know, Candace Owens had a war of words over social media with Cardi B, and it all started from Candace Owens did an interview with Ben Shapiro, where basically gave a critique of Joe Biden's interview with Cardi B, where she said that she feel like Joe Biden is making black people look stupid, and basically he got somebody who was unseasoned and not qualified to speak on the subject. But my question, and we're going to tackle it a little differently than other people have. My question is, if people like Cardi B, if people like Megan Stallion, they have the hearts and the minds of the young demographic, age 18 to 24. If not them, then who? Who would Joe Biden get? And was it a politically good strategy? So I'm going to leave it in your hands. What do you think?
So I am aligned with Candace Owens and her Black Leadership Summit movement. She's the one who red pilled me and brought me into this entire fold. So I am in forever, aligned with her. But I also love me some Cardi B, okay? So, this was very personally difficult for me to watch because these are two women that are on the celebrity level that I really support. Now, if we're looking at people with influence and people who have a platform, Joe Biden was correct in contacting Cardi B. I mean, we have to look at this as Black conservatives. We're often accused of diminishing people who we feel aren't as educated as us or don't have access to the same experiences as us, or they speak differently than us. So it's actually seen as an elitist group. And so although Candace was correct in saying that Cardi B may not have the best knowledge or be the most seasoned person for that interview, her comments just played into the elitism stereotype that exists with Black conservatives. So I don't think that her comments actually helped win anybody to our team that was already on Team Cardi B. Instead, it was seen as people who are aligned with her are uneducated and they don't understand what's going on in a slightly condescending way. I don't think that Cardi herself should have been attacked. She's just doing her job. She's just trying to pursue her passions in the way that she knows how. So to answer your question, no, there's no bigger superstar in America right now than Cardi B. So he wasn't wrong in doing that. And we have to be careful about how we put our messages out.
Right. Very good. That's very true. I definitely want to piggyback off of something that you said about her, using her platform, and basically what you said about Candace Owens shouldn't attack her. Now, I just want to piggyback off that because I do agree with the sentiment. I think Candace Owens would have been better served if she would have attacked the policy and not the person.
Right.
If she said Joe Biden should have had discussions with policymakers, Black policymakers, or Black representatives of something that can get done, not just a feel-good interview, right?
Right.
If she would have attacked the policy, I think it would have gone a little bit better. Like
it would have been more palatable.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, the truth is this. Cardi B is at the pinnacle or the top of music and entertainment, right? So that affords her a certain amount of influence where she can speak on various subjects and people will give her a listen. Now, whether you agree with her or not, I believe in freedom of speech. She's allowed to go on these social media sites and say how she feels. Now, if she has 50 million followers and they choose to follow her, you know, you can critique it, but she's still using her freedom of speech. Now,
Right.
as far as Joe Biden's concerned, politically, it was a decent move because you're appealing to somebody who has the hearts and the minds of the demographic that you want. Because if we look at it on a deeper level, remember, young black voters are not sold on Joe Biden. You have to
No.
to that point. They're not
Mm-hmm.
sold on demographic from 18 to 25. They're more was Team Bernie. So they're not.
Right.
So we have a certain amount of days to election time, and he needs to do whatever he has to do to sell these people, right?
Right.
And we know that there's some demographic that can be sold on policy, right? There's some
Mm-hmm.
demographic that can be sold on personality. There's some
Right.
demographic that can be sold on celebrity. So politically, I don't think it was a bad move.
Well, no, it wasn't a bad move politically at all for him, but I think it kind of plays into the fact that Joe Biden is seen as somebody who is condescending to black people as well. Every time he mentions black people, it's some kind of little weird story about roaches or hair or corn pop. You know, it's always strange. So he has never come to us with a serious message. So I think people like myself who heard Cardi B speak, I'm like, oh, here we go, more pandering. Soon he's gonna pull some hot sauce out his bag, right? So we gotta be careful with that as well, because our leaders since Malcolm X have been warning us about this. But again, that is for the people who are aware of that, the people who are more historically and politically astute. So when we talk about these 18 to 25-year-olds, all of them are not Cardi B fans. I'm a little past that demographic, and I'm a huge Cardi B fan. However, I wouldn't look at her as a political pundit. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be careful that what these Democrats are doing does not come off as condescension, because that's exactly what happened to Hillary Clinton in 2016 when she went on the Breakfast Club and said she keeps hot sauce in her bag. Now, people associated that with Beyonce, but Hillary Clinton had been saying for years that she eats hot peppers because she believes it keeps her immune system strong. And so if she had led with that rather than hot sauce in my bag, then they were like, what, swag? Like, Beyonce, you're being condescending. That whole message got lost because of that pop culture reference. I'm not a fan of mixing pop culture into politics. I think that's how we got tricked by Barack Obama, because he would bring all these celebrities to the White House and we'd be like, look, oh, it's a big black party. But we all missed the party. Like, if you weren't in that party, you didn't benefit from that group at all across any black community in America. So we got to get out of our feelings. And the Democrats have been very good since, the 1960s, for the past 60 years, at making us feel good and not think.
Right. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a powerful statement, and everybody who's going to see this would agree with you. And I would just piggyback off of what you said. Now, we have to look at this from a political aspect. Like, why would politicians speak to influencers, that's not in the politics? Why? Because even though they have millions of dollars, sometimes they represent the voice of the people, right? And
Right.
for you to sit down with them, you can come across as the candidate that cares and the candidate that's speaking to the voice of the people. Like, that's quote unquote one of the messages of a candidate. They have to relate to people, right? And that's one of the ways that you relate to people, is speak to everyday people. Now, Cardi B you wouldn't classify her as an everyday person, but
Right.
she's not an office holder, so she is still a citizen.
A
She's a very
civilian. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
accomplished citizen, but she's still a citizen. And my whole thing is that I think that the Republican Party will be better served, instead of maybe just completely throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Why don't we get our celebrities? But the difference is, we can get celebrities that are knowledgeable about this, right?
Right.
There's plenty of celebrities that have trained themselves in politics, and they kind of know what they're talking about. So we have to be the contrast, the light and the dark between us and Democrats, right? Because
Exactly.
I don't think you should completely shun talking to a celebrity. I like if a
But But let me ask you this question. Do you think that Clifford Harris is qualified to speak on anything politically? T.I., they keep pulling T.I. in front of the camera because he uses his large jail vocabulary to incite the masses. And they keep touting him as a political expert when he is not. You understand? Or we have people like Snoop Dogg, who has built an entire career off of promoting sex trafficking of Black women and disrespecting Black women. Now he's been elevated to a political pundit. So we have to be really careful when we talk about bringing these celebrities in, because they are not qualified to speak or lead anybody.
Well,
It's really strange to me that those two are really, really, really strange to me, because we have this whole movement towards women's empowerment and human rights. And these are two people who have specifically added to the American narrative, counter those things. And now we're elevating them to the level of an intellectual.
right,
So we have to be careful who we put out as our Black intellectuals, because
right.
I believe, I mean, I know we're talking about Cardi, but Clifford Harris is not a Black intellectual and should not be sharing any stage with any politicians or any thought leaders as equal.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just piggyback off of what you said because you asked the conversation about Cardi B, but the whole context could be about celebrities, right? And
Right.
short, so we're gonna try to wrap it up. Somebody in our comment box said, "I like hearing regular Americans representing American values." So here's the thing about Ti, right? If you ever heard him speak, he's not the most seasoned politician, but the purpose that he does serve with the left is that he's very passionate, right, about Black issues. And you've seen him at the rallies talking about Black struggle, right? So if they put a man like that on there that's speaking of Black America, that he's telling people, hey, I have millions of dollars, but I used to be a drug dealer. I was down and out, right? I am you, right? And he comes with this sort of great passionate. That's a guy that you want to have to speak, because even though he's not setting policy, what he's doing is he's creating the bridge between the politician and the person. So all of those, look, who you have also too. Let's talk about another celebrity, Killer Mike, right? Who took part in the Revolt TV with Candace
Yeah,
Owens.
that's what
Now,
I'm talking about.
right.
Uh-huh.
So anybody that knows Killer Mike knows that he's more of his style is more of a, you could say, close to like a
Urban,
like
urban
a
intellectual.
like a Farrakhan, like Black nationalism sort of
Mm-hmm.
own. There are Black people that agree with him and that want to see that conversation about Black
But
people.
there's a difference between Killer Mike. There's a difference between Killer Mike and Snoop Dogg, who showed up at the Source Awards with two Black women on a leash. That's what I'm saying. By us elevating that quality of man to the level of thought leader, that means that as a community, we're okay with the actions that they have done. I think that's what bothers me the most, because Cardi B makes music, or Megan Thee Stallion makes music, or Killer Mike, or David Banner. All of their music has not been as destructive as the images that Snoop has put out. And I know, again, we're talking about Cardi B, but Snoop bothers me the most about all of this, because he's a pimp. I mean, he's made his money talking about pimping, which is sex trafficking. And now you're a thought leader. Now you're an intellectual. That's the trick of elevating celebrities to the status of thought leaders, because these people themselves are not qualified to speak on my behalf. I don't want them speaking on my behalf. I don't think that it was right that T.I. was on the stage with Candace Owens. No, you know what I'm saying? That there's not even like it's not even an intellectual match. And so that was Candace's point. We're now elevating celebrities who do not have the pedigree or the standard, you understand, to even lead thoughts. Now, if you're going to promote like Beyonce would not have done that interview. What Beyonce would have done was shared a Joe Biden commercial, because Beyonce understands that her job is to be a celebrity and to promote through her platform. But when you start addressing these celebrities and asking them what their political and intellectual alignments are, and they're not ready for that, Now you've put out a faux message to the people, or a pre-recorded message that now these celebrities are forced to articulate based on their contracts. So I
Right.
think that's what Candace is trying to get at. But again, as we say this, we have to make sure that we are not insulting the people, but like you said, the policy.
Right. And that's my whole thing. Like I said, that's one of my points, is that she should attack the policy. But I am trying to take this conversation deeper. And another point I wanted to make, you mentioned the whole thing about Snoop Dogg. Now, that's why I'm careful about attacking these celebrities, because if you feel like they shouldn't have the ear of these young people and the hearts and the minds, right? That speaks to the leadership, right? I'm talking about leadership in
Mm-hmm.
schools, leadership in parents. Along the way, when these kids grew up, if that's the opinion of us as adults, we feel like they shouldn't have that much influence, then it's up to you as a parent or as an educator to speak to these young people and be like, hey, it's okay to listen to celebrities, but their word is not gospel. It's
But
up.
it's also up to the society or the gatekeepers to make sure that these people are not elevated to that platform. I'll give you another example about Snoop Dogg. This, and like I said, he's the one that really grinds my gears. So when Kobe died, rest in peace, Kobe. There were two interviews that took place. The day that Kobe died, I'm not sure of her name, of the reporter's name. I think it was Megan Kelly. I'm not sure, but she said the Los Angeles Nakers, right? She called Kobe a racial slur on national TV on the day that he died. She said that she said Naker, but we know what we all heard, okay? Gail does an interview with an NBA star, asks her about public knowledge. Snoop Dogg curses her out. I mean, drags this woman through the mud to the point that Susan Rice had to get involved and make him apologize, right? They were going to take this to the governmental level, because he was so disrespectful to her. So my thing is like, again, you have used your platform to disrespect Black women. You understand? Like, it never stops. And because we've now elevated him to a thought leader, people aren't even judging him in that context anymore. You understand? Now he's not looked at as a rapper who promoted pimping for 20 years. No, now he's an intellectual who was misunderstood. And no, you understand what I'm saying? We are um validating these people by elevating them. Now, again, I'm not saying that no celebrity should be used. There are certain celebrities who are hyper articulate and who can really speak to these issues. But then there's other celebrities that you can tell who are reading from a script and they really don't know what they're talking about and they're just trying to push a narrative. And I think the narrative pushing celebrities are the most dangerous because they are pushing a message to the people that does not directly affect them as millionaires.
Right. Well, like I said, this is the YouTube exclusive blog. Like I said, this is a short edition. We don't want to give them too much. I want
Okay.
y'all to hold on. I want y'all to post y'all comments, y'all thoughts. We got a little 2 minutes or so. I'm just gonna wrap it up, and I guess you can wrap it up, and then we'll get into kind of like what you're doing. My last thought on it is just that, you know, attacking celebrities, I feel like it's the worst thing you can do politically. It just makes more sense to work around them. So for me, you have to be the contrast. Then whoever celebrity you have on the
Mm-hmm.
Republican, we just have to make sure they're intellectual. We have to make sure that they bring something to the table, because you could show somebody better than you can tell them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if these people have 50 million people that follow them, they might like Snoop Dogg better than any politician. They might trust Snoop Dogg better
Mm-hmm.
than any politician. Now, if that is the case, then we have to realize, well, what's going on with us as leaders, where somebody will trust an unseasoned whatever to somebody who's supposed to be seasoned. What's going on that
Right.
society, and they've done studies on this. People don't trust institutions anymore. People don't trust leaders anymore. So it's more of a breakdown with leadership. So people nowadays, people trust who seems transparent and who's more genuine, right?
Right.
That's it's the most trust. So like I said, my whole thing with is that I believe in freedom of speech. People are allowed to use their platform. Now, if you don't agree with them, you have the option to counter their platform in the spirit,
Create something else. I always tell people, don't hate, do better.
right? In the spirit of free speech. So that's my whole analysis, that I think she would have been better served attacking the powers. And even if you're a Republican, and actually the funny thing about it is that it makes more sense to attack Joe Biden than really to attack her, because Joe Biden is the one that's going to get in office, not her. You know what I mean?
Right.
She did attack Joe Biden, but if she would have kept it at Joe Biden in policy, that would have worked. Because like you said earlier, attacking Cardi B doesn't get her fans. All it does is create a division between your fans and her fans. They duke it out on social media, and it turns to this big thing, and then life returns back to normal. But there's no actual progress beyond the forest fire. So, like I said, this is the YouTube exclusive comment shorts. You can comment. This will be up on Facebook, but the only way to get this, you have to click on the link and come to my page, right, and subscribe to David Cypher's Conservatism. But before we leave, my guest is going to real quick tell you what she's up to. So let them know what you're up to in the great city of Chicago.
All right, we are here in the great city of Chicago, aka Chirac. We are organizing Black Chicago to re-elect Donald John Trump Sr. There are very real issues that are occurring here in the city of Chicago that are very unique, such as the presence of the Mexican gang drug cartel that is currently trafficking $1 billion of heroin from the west side of Chicago every year. We have the fact that we are a sanctuary city, which allows all of this drug trafficking and criminality and lawlessness to occur from a federal level. We are dealing with the fact that the city of Chicago has hoarded almost $500 million of federal housing money for the past 20 years to the detriment of Black Chicago and our housing structure. Donald John Trump is the only president who has actively tried to solve all of these issues from a federal level. He is the only president who has ever spoke to these issues, and the only president who is not afraid to go in and tell the truth. We are the children of Mississippi cotton pickers here in the city of Chicago, and we are very conservative people. We are very Southern people. And here on the west side of Chicago, there is also, or even throughout Black Chicago, there's a heavy Islamic culture here as well. So with all of those things comes conservatism, comes order. And we're here to let the people know that chaos does not represent us here in Chicago. We do not live in poverty pits. We do not live in war zones. We are a middle-class city that is dealing with a criminal element, and there's only one person who is saying law and order, and that's Donald John Trump Sr. So come on, join Black Chicago for Trump. We are not a group of conservatives who are pandering to a certain message. We know what our issues are, and we know how to solve them. You can come and get on board with us and help us solve our issues, or stand to the side, but don't get in our way.
All right. So for all y'all that gonna watch this, if you're from Chicago, you can log on to the Facebook page, Black Chicago for Trump. You can get in touch with her. You can inbox her if you want to join, and just participate and get involved. So we're gonna call it a night. This is Rediscovering Black Conservatism Shorts, the blog one, exclusive YouTube comment. Click on the link, David Cypher's Conservatism, and subscribe to get great content. Everybody enjoy your night and enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.